Hello, this is Lance Lehrman, and I'll be presenting my final project. Here is my diagram for my tables. I have a many relationship with the frost states, so you can add several states to the project and look at all the different frost states for that plant. And then I also have a one-to-many relationship with the plant date table. That way, if you have tomatoes and you have multiple dates that you've planted those tomatoes, you can add those multiple dates and keep track of the date that plant is fully mature. Next, I'll be showing you all my CRUD operators in my plant DAO, which is Spring Boot, plant DAO. So here we have our insert plant date. This makes it to where we can insert a date for that plant. We get a plant date object, and we get an integer for the plant ID. This is the fetch frost date, and then I believe, yeah, no. So fetch frost date is a private. It gets executed inside the DAO, and it will take a state and return a list the frost dates associated with that state. Next is insert frost state. This will take a plant ID and the state name to insert into that table that connects the two many-to-many relationships. Next is delete plant. This will take a plant ID and delete that plant based on that ID. And then there is the modify plant details. You will put a plant ID in, which should be associated already with that plant object that's being passed. That way we can use that to figure out the what values we're changing. Next is fetch plant dates. So this one's done internally. This will take a connection and a plant ID and return all of the dates associated with that plant, those plant dates that we have. And then I have another fetch plant dates. It's just an integer. That way it can be executed outside of the DAO. Next is returns a list of frost states. So it's the fetch frost states for plants, and that'll take a plant ID and return those frost states. Next is fetch plant by ID. So this will get a plant specifically one by that ID. Fetch all plants returns a list of all the plants. And then is insert plant. So that was my update, so I can insert that plant. That is all of my CRUD operations. Each entity has a CRUD operation, and the plant has all create, read, update, and delete operations. Next, I'll be looking at my web interface. I'll refresh just so you know it's the one that's working. So we're going to do delete a plant. We're going to delete plant ID. We're going to try, I believe I have plant ID 3. And it's returned a status code of 500. So we do not have a status of 3. Let's try 7. There we go. Successfully executed code 200. Next is plant dates. Return a list of dates by plant ID. So I will use 6, execute, and it returns that list of plant ID 6, date ID 8, and then those dates associated with that plant. Next is return a list of plants. So this one has no parameters. It just executes and returns all the plants that I have inside here. All right. Next is add plant. So this will let me add a plant. I can do a potato is perennial true. It does flower. It is not actually perennial. And then it takes about probably 100 days, maybe. Execute that. And then we get that done. It returns the successful plant that we added. It returns that. And then we can add a state. So we can add a state by plant ID, which would be, let's do, I know 6 exists. Let's do the state of 10. No, let's do South Dakota. Execute responses. It gives me that South Dakota and the frost dates associated with that. Next is update plant. So I can update plant 6 since I know that exists. I can make that an orange tree. Oops. And then I can do it is perennial, it does flower, and it matures in probably 600 days. Execute. And now we got that update executed. It doesn't return anything, but we do get a code 201 to know that we have updated that plant. That fulfills all requirements for the project. Thank you for watching.